Hi there and welcome to this demo of the PriceYourOwnBets.com Lucky 15 comparison tool. Here's the problem you might have. There's slightly different odds with two different bookmakers and they have slightly different bonuses. We'll see the bonuses here. One firm might be offering double the odds for one winner, another firm might be offering treble the odds. There might be an accumulator bonus here. So how do you know which bet is preferable to you? It might not always be the case that the better odds is the better bet because of the value that's in the bonus. So this is what this tool hopefully will give some insight into. Most of the work will happen here on this first tab, the dashboard tab, where we've got the inputs here on the left hand side and some outputs on the right hand side, and the other tab, notes, is just basically a very brief description of what hopefully I'll give in this demo. So let's start at the top here with these bet detail variables here. So the first thing you put in is your stake per line. So this is defaulted to 1 unit, so the bet costs you 15 units, obviously because of the 15 bets in the Lucky 15, but you can change this to 10 or 0.5 or whatever amount you bet at basically, but for this demo I'm just going to leave it at one unit for each bet. You can also make a decision here with this third variable, which is whether you want to input your information here in a decimal format or fractional format. One thing to be careful, you can't mix and match between these two, so you need to make your decision at the start which of the two you're going to use. I'll use decimal here simply because there's less input, so I just have to put in the decimal number as opposed to in the fractional you have to put in both parts, so 8 to 1 or 11 to 2 or whatever it is there. So okay, so we're in the decimal format. The third bit here is the margin per selection. This is basically how much overround you think's on each selection. About 2 to 3% is probably about right here. This tool isn't an exact tool. It's not to work out the exact numbers, it's more for comparison, as you'll see in a minute. So this shouldn't make too much difference to the decision as to which to make, but we'll go into that in more detail in a minute, but for now I think I'll leave it at that 2.5 is fine. So when you get down here to the bookmaker details, you can put in up to 3 bookmakers here. You can put the names in and it will update in all the other positions so that you know where you're looking at in all the other scenarios. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put in some prices here. Now I'm just going to put decimal odds of 6, 5 to 1 in fractional on these 4 selections in this Lucky 15. So on the right hand side here now then, I've got details of all the possible outcomes of the bet and what would be my return in each of those scenarios. So on most betting sites they show you this number here, which is your maximum payout, but here you can actually get what your payout would be for each of the different scenarios. So because these odds are all the same here, all the singles are just the same, all the doubles are the same and all the trebles, but if I make a couple of the prices different, I'll go 8, 7, 5, 6 here, then basically now each double and each treble has its own unique return based on the details of these prices here. So the important part here is this number down the bottom, which is the expected return of bet. As I said, this is quite approximate based on we don't really know how much margin there is per selection, how good your estimate of the bet is, where the bookmakers in this particular instance have put their overround, but it's a good kind of a starting point as to the value of the bet. So I'm just going to put these all back just to 6, just so I can see what I'm up to. So here this suggests that this Lucky 15 with no bonuses and 4 5 to 1 shots has an expected return of £10.71. Obviously that's not great, bearing in mind that you've bet 15 units to get back 10.7. That's quite a lot. That's nearly a third of your money expected to be lost. So thankfully that's where the bonuses come in and hopefully can help us. So we can see this. I'm not comparing bookmakers yet, but I can just work out the value here of, so suppose I put in a double the odds bonus for one winner. So what you'll see here, these four numbers have changed from 6 to 11, because instead of getting paid at 5 to 1, I'm effectively getting paid at 10 to 1. So I'm getting 10 units of a win from my single and my 1 unit of stake back. So well, that's good. Look already. So we're up to 12.51 now. So what were we at? We were at 10.7. So we're it's worth about 2 units nearly. So that's pretty good. And then other bookmakers do 3 times the odds, and now we're up to 14.3. So basically, it's looking pretty good now. We're not too far away from expecting to get our 15 units back. So we can always, I'll just get rid of that bonus there just to have a look at the 4 winner. Now, the way the bookmakers tend to do the accumulator bonus is just an extra percentage. So if I put 10% extra here, if you look, actually, it doesn't have much impact. And the reason for that is that only adds some value if you have all 4 winners. So this number here was 2,400. It's gone up to 2,640. So it's not very likely to get 4 5 to 1 shots home. It'd be like similar to rolling 4 6s with 4 dice. So it's not very likely, and that's why it doesn't have much of an impact on your expected return of the bet. You could even stick this up at 50%. Look at it, still doing nothing near what the 1 winner bonus was doing. So right, so I'm going to put that back now. So let's start to do a little comparison of 2 different bookmakers. So okay, so this one we'll leave here as the 4 5 to 1 shots, but suppose we now put in slightly better odds. So I'll put 6.5 here, I'll put 7, I'll put 6.5, and maybe this one's the same, 6. So with no bonus, if you look here, clearly this second one is better. It's got a better return without bonuses, and so if there wasn't bonuses, clearly you'd place the bet with this bookmaker here with the better odds. But now, so let's put, say, the double odds bonus here with the first bookmaker. Well, now look, despite the fact the odds are slightly worse, this is the better bet. You're expecting to get back 1064 as opposed to 1040. As I said, I wouldn't read too much into these exact numbers because I've done some approximations with a probability in the background. And so one of the things I've done is where we've got more than one set of odds, we assume that the longest odds is kind of the correct probability that we're then taking the 2.5% off. So this has gone down here simply because all of these odds are longer, which suggests that the selections have less chance of winning. So basically, we can compare different ones. So we could put this one at times 3 and this one at times 2. And again, these are pretty close, actually. I haven't set this up on purpose to be very close, but there's not too much difference here in which of these you bet with. So, if I change this again, let's have a look at another example. So suppose there's just quite a bit better price on one here at 7.5 and 3 6s as opposed to 4 6s, then with a double the odds, it suggests that the triple the odds with the bookmaker A is a better bet. So that's basically nice that you can put in these values for the different bookmakers and compare these as to which one gives you the better return. So that's really the main purpose of this, just to give a genuine comparison on the Lucky 15s. But you can also actually see how your bet's doing in running with by this results process, and this would be quite approximate, simply, as I said, because we don't really know the exact probabilities about the margin on each runner. But if I press the reset here, so I'm just going to set one up again. So suppose I set up the 4 5 to 1 shots, and I'll do it with the triple the odds, and maybe I'll do a 10% extra as well. So Here I'm at 14.39 for the return on this particular one. So I've placed my bet. Perhaps the first selection is over if it's a horse race or a football match or whatever. So here I can come in and say, great, I've had a winner. Boom. And look down here straight away. This all reacts now, so there's lots of these things can't happen. Anything with the first one was a loser is now impossible. So you can't have 4 losers. You can't have the first one losing, the second one winning, and the last 2 losing. So 8 of them have gone, and the other 8 that are left, obviously have more probability now, and the winner, good. We staked 15 units, and it says that our bet's worth around 50 units now, which is great. And compare that to a loser, then obviously the value of the bet goes right down, because basically a lot of the bets are just dead now. So anything with the first one a winner is gone. So you can't get your accumulator, you can't get 3 of your trebles, you can't get a number of your doubles. So and we can do 2. We could give 2 winners. Look, and oh great, now from 15 quid you're up at 171. So perhaps the third one's winning as well. Wow, you've got a bit of a chance of getting the 2,640, and the worst you can do is the 3 wins and a loss for 342. So this is just a nice way to see how you're getting on in running, basically, and just to see how your bet's coming. So here's another example. If you've gone win, lose, win, let's have a look. The worst you're going to get a double here is 48. And you have the chance with the 4th one coming in. So, and we can give the 4th winner as well, and we get the exact outcome at this point because there's no uncertainty left. So the 3 winners here was 342, and if I did get that winner here, I'd have 2,640 because of the 10% bonus. And let's just look at just one winner here. So if I just had the one winner at 5-1, then I'm getting 16 units back again because of the treble the odds. So this is just a nice little tool. It's a nice comparison that lets you compare things that maybe aren't directly comparable. So if you've ever had not been able to make a decision on whether to take the double bonus with slightly better odds or the triple bonus with slightly worse odds, this tool maybe can help you make that decision. So thanks for listening. And I'll be back again with another one shortly.